Guys, Moom Dust here. Let's talk about the games happened on third Monday. The first game is the Rockets lost to the Sixers. No surprise there. Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood are both suspended. They should be back next game. They got Garrison Matthews. I feel like Eric Gordon should come off the bench. We don't know. It's either Eric Gordon or Garrison Matthews going to move to the bench when Kevin Porter Jr. comes back. Both guys have just a tiny little bit of streaming value. I don't think they're both must rosters. Garrison Matthews obviously played well. Again, his crazy efficiency is back again. 23 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist. And before he got placed into the COVID protocol, he was getting a bunch of defensive stats as well. So I think he's worth a stream when the Rockets have a good schedule. Jason Tate also, the minutes is not super high with him for whatever reason. Haven't really crapped. I guess a lot of the power forward minutes went to Kenyon Martin Jr. because he also got 26 minutes. But Jason Tate is a guy that we could roster or stream for sure. Daniel Theis got the start, went 3 for 13 against Joel Embiid and had 4 fouls. That's understandable. That's all right. Şengün is still a couple weeks out. Christian Wood should be back next game. Eric Gordon played okay. Could be a streamer. Jalen Green. Why did he only play 27 minutes? I'm not sure why. You would expect like 35 minutes while Daniel Theis getting 34. So some weird stuff. He's a guy that the strategy with him is, he had a great game last game. Try to sell him. If not, just hold. But at the end of the day, he's just giving you points and threes and not much else. And hurts your field goal a lot. Kenyon Martin Jr. get 26 minutes, but 25, 26 makes him a streamer, but it could be dangerous because it's not guaranteed. Like some games he could only have 20. You just don't know what the Rockets rotation for those bench guys. It's up and down. For the Philadelphia Sixers, Danny Green came back. He could be a streamer for defensive stats. So if you want that, you could pick him up. Tobias Harris has been pretty bad all year. Another subpar game here. I want to say a buy low. I still look at him as a top 50 player with really, really great efficiencies. So if you can do that, do those type of trades, I would try to do it. Like Jordan Poole, who had a great game last game, and Clay's coming back. If you can do that type of trade, Tobias Harris should have better value than Jordan Poole for sure. Joel Embiid, 31 points, a triple-double, a steal and 2 blocks. Just a beast whenever he plays. Really not much to talk about. And he did it in 30 minutes. He just needs to stay healthy. That's it. There's nothing else. Furkan Korkmaz started because both Tyrese Maxey and Matisse Thybulle, they were both out. He got the start. We know what this guy can do. Mainly just points and threes. And he's not afraid to shoot. Had 11 rebounds here. That's took some of Joel Embiid's rebounds away. Seth Curry played 30. His ranking is super good because he's super, super efficient. I suppose like a Tobias Harris. He's a guy you could have if you are looking for that efficiency. But for a low volume guy like Seth Curry, like his efficiency doesn't really matter. Like it's not like like a Rashawn Holmes or like Montrezl Harrell where they take 11 field goals and they make 7. The guy, first of all, he's maybe like I don't know, close to 50% shooter. You see, I know he's just super, super efficient, crazy efficient. Seth Curry for the whole season. 83rd, that hasn't changed. Shooting, 50%. Wow, that is 50% on 12 attempts is pretty good, But is he gonna keep going? 51 actually, but 51 for a guy like Curry, I don't know. Maybe he can keep it up. If he's gonna shoot 50% from the field as a guard, you just have to have him on your team. If you're try to build out an efficient team, and he makes a lot of threes as well. Like if you have a bunch of these guys, your team is gonna, for sure be more efficient than most teams and have more threes than those big men team as well. Shake Milton, with all the guys out, plays just 21 minutes, so let's not worry about him. And Andre Drummond, with Joel Embiid only play 30 minutes, he can come in and play 16, 17. He's a guy we could stream. In just 17 minutes, he'll give you like a steal and a block and 8-9 rebounds. And he did that this game. Let's talk about the next game. The Charlotte Hornets Lost to the Wizards. Hornets they have not been good. LaMelo Ball is a huge buy low. I know yesterday I said, try to get Bradley Beal for LaMelo Ball. But Bradley Beal, he's heating up, man. I don't know. Right now, maybe not the time because Bradley Beal playing so well. Who knows? He could have like a top 10, top 15 finish. And LaMelo Ball has been underwhelming. I would try to throw him, who's been playing very, very well. Like a Pascal Siakam, right? That's something who's been pretty, and for sure, LaMelo Ball should be better than Siakam plus somebody, of course. Maybe you can try to throw Donovan Mitchell at him, who's been playing pretty well. OG Anunoby, do a 2-for-1, try to see if you can get LaMelo Ball. It will be tough because he had such a great first half, and people know what he's capable of. It will be hard to buy low. But you can, try things like that if he struggles for a couple more games. He has not been getting any defensive stats, and the efficiency is off, and only 2 assists here. I just don't know what happened with them lately. Terry Rozier bounced back, 3 steals, 25 points, and 5 threes. And great efficiencies again. Terry Rozier is a guy that every time he goes up, I try to sell high. Mason Plumlee kept it going, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Made all his shots. You could have him until his minutes fall off. Miles Bridges 41 minutes. The early season Miles Bridges is back. 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals and a block, 23 points with great efficiency. Great stuff. He has not been good after the hot season. 60. Yeah, even after this game, 66 in the last 2 weeks. If he bought low on him, congrats. He should be like a top 40 player. The rest of the way, Gordon Hayward also had a huge game. With LaMelo Ball struggling, Miles Bridges and Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier, they've been playing well, and I'm still pretty feel confident about LaMelo Ball returning first round value the rest of the way. Just gotta give him some time. I don't know what's going on with him. Washington Wizards, Kyle Kuzma always use this time to sell him high, but the guy has upside. I know he's been sucking most of the time, but the rebound and the points have always been there. And the biggest issue with him is free throws and lack of defensive stats. And obviously not a lot of assists as well, but everything else is okay. And every once in a while he will pop off. He did here. Try to sell high on him. We have a couple guys missing. We have Spencer Dinwiddie, who's a decent, a high usage guy, quote unquote. But with Bradley Beal around, Bradley Beal was obviously the first option. And Kyle Kuzma is second or third. I don't know. He should be taking a lot of field goal attempts on this team. A really good game here. Try to execute a sell high. And this is also a great win for the Wizards. Danny Advia, wow, 40 minutes. They like to use him as like a defender. 8 assists here is really good. I think we could look at him to see if potentially we could pick him up. The minutes is super high, and when guys come back, if he lose minutes, then we can have second thoughts. Daniel Gafford 35 minutes with Montrezl Harrell out. Daniel Gafford has been having a huge week, actually, in the last 2 weeks. Definitely a sell high. Try to do a 2-for-1s. With Montrezl Harrell back, he's not gonna. He's averaged 29 minutes in the last 2 weeks. 62nd ranked player. Try to sell high. Shooting 80% from the field. But 60 ranked is not, I would do 2-for-1 to try to sell him for a top 50, a struggling top 50 player. With Harrell back, he's gonna, his total ranking is gonna be, I think, around 90, 100, depending on how many blocks he get. Bradley Beal, another great game. 10 for 11, he was sucking with his free throws. His free throw is back up, 8 assists, 7 rebound, and a block. 35 points. Since coming back from COVID, every single game he's had huge games. Good stuff. If we ball on along him, who knows? He could have a great second half finish. This is like first round value. This is first round value for sure. Maybe when Spencer Dinwiddie comes back, he's gonna mess around with his value. But we'll see. And KCP could be just a streamer, but games like this, you see why. He's not a must roster. Just absolutely nothing. he still played 30 minutes. Let's look at the next game. The Grizzlies, interestingly, beat the Brooklyn Nets at Brooklyn. Brooklyn has been, I don't want to say sucking, but they also lost the Clippers at home as well. This game, and the Grizzlies, they were without a couple of guys. I mean, a lot of guys were in COVID protocol as well. Kaylee and Tilly played 60 minutes. And remember, Grizzlies have got 5 games this week. So some of those guys, like even Kaylee and Tilly, you could stream and just see what happens. They got 5 games. Jaren Jackson Jr. Was in some foul trouble again, and he was just horrible lately with his efficiencies. 2 for 12 from the field and 1 for 3 from the line. 1 steal and 3 blocks is what salvaged the line. This is why you could have a guy like that. In games where he struggles shooting, he could do it on the other end. 1 steal and 3 blocks is pretty good. Steven Adams had an alright game. He's a rebound streamer. That's all he is. Desmond Bane, keep it going. He's a huge sell high. Dylan Brooks is gonna take some of the shots away. We know that for sure, and his usage has been insane. Who knows? Maybe when Dylan Brooks comes back, Desmond Bane can still take 16, 17 field goals a game. I don't see that happening. Personally, I don't know. 2 steals, just great stuff all around. He's been insane all season. In the last 2 weeks, he's ranked next to Kevin Durant, 38 ranked player. Try to do a 2-for-1 to get like a top 35, 40 player. That's something I will be looking to do. Super, super good. But I think with Dylan Brooks come back, he's not gonna do this. Ja Morant, great, 36 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. Bad from the free throw line. Not the counting stats look pretty good. Efficiency wise, pretty poor and no defensive stats. But I thought the knee injury is gonna scare him. But that hasn't been the case. He's, still very, very aggressive, making highlight dunks. So good stuff. Jiro Culver actually came in and played 30 minutes. Had 3 steals, 12 points. He's not really fantasy relevant. I would rather have a Brandon Clark. I know what I'm gonna get out of him. Field goals and some rebounds. And Tyus Jones give you some assists and steals. Now those are 2 guys, Brandon Clark and Tyus Jones. You could still stream him the rest of the week. They still have 4 games. For the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant played well. 3 steals and 3 blocks. You don't see that very often from KD. But bad efficiency wise, and the problem with KD is just low defensive stats. But everything else is super, super good. And nobody really played high minutes. KD and Harden used to play 38. The game was out of reach, and they just want to. It was a back-to-back. Was it a back-to-back? They just want to preserve their stars. Harden, not the best game. 19 points, 8 assists, a steal and a block. While Patty Mills went scoreless. We still want to roster Patty Mills with Joe Harris out. Joe Harris is still like weeks away. Very, very good points and threes. This type of game is gonna happen. But they're not going to happen that often. Nicholas Claxton. LaMarcus Aldridge was out. Played 25 minutes. He's a must roster at the moment. If he loses minutes, then we'll see what happens. But for now, we have to roster him. DeAndre Bembry, James Johnson, Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown actually went off, coming off the bench. If the Brooklyn has got a good schedule, you need some defensive stats, rebound and assist. You could look for these guys. Well, they're not gonna get a lot of assists. Sorry, just rebound and defensive stats because Harden's got all the assists on this team. Bruce Brown had a really good game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 7 blocks. Scary stuff. All right, let's go to the next game. The Orlando Magic lost to the Bulls. This game was close. DeRozan, of course, who else led them to another win? For the Magic, Mo Bamba it's another bad game from him. 22 minutes. 7 rebounds and 3 points, nothing else. He's a buy low if you can get him for like top 80, 90 player. Just coming back from COVID, his conditioning is not up. And obviously the minutes is not there. I think once he's fully back up to speed, he should be giving you like at least 1.7, 1.8 blocks a game playing 30 minutes. And that's all his value coming from. So just gotta be patient with him. Fred Wagner, keep it going, man. Another great game. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And I still want to say a sell high. Try to do a 2-for-1 to get like a top 50, 45 player. Two frags Wagners for a top 50 player would be pretty worth. Wendell Carter Jr. same thing, sell high as well. Cole Anthony is still out. We don't know when he's coming back. He's been questionable for like 2 weeks. Pretty frustrating. Jalen Suggs is gonna come back to the mix. Markelle Fultz. So a couple guys gonna come back. But Wendell has been really good. Same thing with Franz Wagner. Probably sell high. Yeah, Garrett Harris for sure. He's a sell high. When Cole Anthony comes back, he's not gonna play 33 minutes. You're not gonna get any value back from Garrett Harris. I don't think any, unless you're on a taco league. 2 steals and a block, 19 points. Pretty good. 5 threes. Lately, he's been good. There's no denying. And if you got him already, 48th ranked player. If you got him already, keep riding him, and you can pick him up. The minutes has been high as well. Team Frazier, 18 points here. RJ Hampton got 31. He's another guy that we could look to stream, but the minutes is a bit inconsistent. Terrence Ross also be getting some huge minutes. We know, hey, if you're not trying to win field goals, sure, you could have him. He's just gonna bomb away, give you points and threes. That's pretty much it. For the Bulls, they got Lonzo Ball back. It's the first game. He's been out for a while, a little bit rusty. Sure, 1 for 8, but he made it up in 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Really good stuff. If you got Lonzo Ball, guys like Lonzo Ball, Draymond Green together, you got to think about your strategies a little bit. Maybe pump points. And then just be really strong in the other areas. And these guys, their efficiencies are also a bit of an issue. We allowed the ball back. Kobe White still got 35 minutes. 17 points and a block. And they're going to get Caruso back. But, even with Caruso back, it looks like we're going to have a 25-minute to 30-minute run for Kobe. And I would really stream the hell out of him if DeRozan was actually one of those guys is out. But otherwise, unless they got a good schedule, I really wouldn't touch him. Zach LaVine, 27 for 3, 7 for 7, great, and got a steal. But Zach LaVine, the scoring is very consistent this year. But the peripheral stats is really lacking. Still the 28th ranked player in the last 2 weeks, and on the season, he's in that 30 range. Wow, he's actually 22nd now. Wow. So that he definitely moved up in the rankings. Still averaging 0.4 steals and 0.4 blocks. But lately his efficiency has been insane. On the season he's shooting 50%. I don't know what it is. The last 2 seasons, before that, he was not a great. He wasn't that great efficiency wise. But he really took that jump. I thought maybe last year was a fluke, but it's not the case. He's doing it again this year. And him and DeRozan, man, these 2 guys are just super, super efficient. You got both of those guys, super, super efficient. You could not win defensive stats and still win because you're going to win both field goals and efficiency. For a guy that's taking 20 field goals and shooting 50%, that is pretty huge. That is pretty huge. Yeah, really not much else to talk about. These 2 guys have been putting on a show all season. Same thing with DeRozan. Well, he went 7 for 13 from the free throw line, but it's a fluke. He won't do it again. Also a decent game from DeRozan. Vucevic, the rebound number is up. The profile, he's still not shooting the ball well, but you can't really complain when he grabbed you 17 rebounds and give you 2 steals and 2 blocks. Let's move on to the next game. The Detroit Pistons. Finally, they got some guys back. They got Kate Cunningham back. They got Killian Hayes. They got Saban Lee back. So Luka Gaza, we could just drop him everywhere. Trae Lyles also came back and played. But Isaiah Stewart should be back soon. So let's not touch any of those big men. If you got Diallo, nice. He still got 33 minutes. He still have some value. So just keep riding him until, he loses minutes. Saddiq Bey, a very big sell high. But just be careful who you're getting. If you're just getting a top 80 player, that's not exciting. In the last 2 weeks, he's with all the guys out, he's been incredible. He is the 31st ranked player. still just shooting 40%, but scoring 24 points and 10 rebounds and 4 threes. This game, great shooting, 34 points on 55% shooting, 8 threes. Finally, he's breaking out just a little bit. Try to sell his hype, otherwise just ride it out. Maybe with all the guys out really helped him, get his confidence back. Sometimes it's about, if the guy has confidence, it's just going to play better, I think. Kate Cunningham, 37 minutes. First game back, great. Counting stat always look pretty solid. 53% from the field is nice. But with him, I think we all know, counting stat very, very solid. You got to watch out for the turnovers and the low field goal. Killian Hayes is a streamer. We could stream him for assists and steals. That's it. Doesn't really provide anything else. Let's take a look at the Bucks. Giannis, what else to say? Played pretty high minutes, 36 minutes this game. Against the bad Detroit. Well, they did lose. And Chris Middleton came back and played, but they just played bad this game. While Sadiq Bey killed them. They'll bounce back, but another great game. Giannis is very, very consistent getting you the stats. Like, he's not going to go, like, for some guys like Curry, right? Sometimes you'll have 15 points at rough shooting nights. Sometimes he'll go for 40. Sometimes he'll go for 50. So the variance is there. But with Giannis, it's just so consistent. Every time I look at his stats, it's around 30 points, 10 plus rebound, and like 5-6 assists. It's always like that. Chris Middleton, pretty bad game. Try to buy low on him. He has not been good all season. To me, if you try to build out that efficient team, he's decent, But field goal, a couple years ago, his field goal is good, but not anymore. The last 2 weeks, he is the 97th ranked player. Yeah. Bobby Portis, 30 minutes. The defensive stats are completely gone. There was a 2-week period he averaged like 2 steals and 2 blocks. Those days were gone. Absolutely no zero stats, no defensive stats, but 14 rebounds, still a must roster. But you want to see those defensive stats come back. Otherwise, his value is not great. Just the rebounds and some threes. Grayson Allen, well, the news came out that Dante DiVincenzo is going to be out for a couple weeks. So maybe Grayson Allen has some value now, but only played 27 minutes, while Pat Connaughton had 22. But yeah, like these guys, they're not really sexy. They don't really provide a lot of value, other than some threes and some efficiencies. Maybe Jrue Holiday, 29 points. Jrue Holiday has been huge all the last 2 weeks. He's finally back. Try to sell high at the same time. Try to do Jrue Holiday plus somebody for LaMelo Ball. Maybe that's something I'll be looking to do. Jrue Holiday plus who else has been playing well? Sadiq Bey, maybe. Him plus like a pretty solid play. Maybe Bobby Portis has not been performing well. Those Magic guys, Fred Wagner or Wendell Carter Jr. Try to see if you can do those trades to get LaMelo Ball. Because LaMelo Ball and Jrue Holiday, they're kind of the categories they put up are pretty similar, and obviously LaMelo Ball's counting stats is greater than Jrue Holiday's. Try to see if you can do that type of trades. Who knows, it might work. LaMelo Ball might continue to struggle. Getting COVID half of the season sometimes it messes around with your mental as well, and mess with your physically too. Obviously, the next game is the Jazz beat the New Orleans Pelicans. Jazz, I mean, at this point, I shouldn't be surprised when they just win all the regular season games. Royce O'Neal, not a bad game, even though he's getting 30 minutes a night. Let's not worry about him. Bogdanovich, 21 and 5, nothing else. Rudy Gobert, 2 steals and 2 blocks, 17 points. Another good game from Rudy. For Rudy, it's about 3 for 8 is not great. You want him to provide consistent field goals, but the rebound and blocks, super consistent every single game. Donovan Mitchell, great game, 5-3, shot the ball well. He struggled against the Warriors. This game played against the bad Pelicans, pretty great. 3 steals and a block, 29 points, 5 threes, good stuff. Mike Conley, also 22, 8 and 7 for threes. After games like this, try to sell him. He was a team best 24 as well. And let's look at the Pelicans. How about Herbert Jones? 30 minutes, 4 steals and a block. What? He's been super, super good last week as well. So if he's out down on the waiver wire, let's go pick him up. Probably a sell high if you can get him for any value. He was averaging, let's see. It's just all of a sudden he just started popping off in the last 2 weeks. In the last week actually, 39th ranked player, averaging 1.5 steals and 1.7 blocks. Both numbers a bit high, and shooting 50%. Try to get any value. If not, just hold him. His guy's nice to have, and with all the guys back, his minutes is around 30. So the upside is just a tiny bit lower because with guys out, he was getting 35 minutes. Brandon Ingram came back, had some rust, 3 for 18. He's just not great. He hasn't been great. Pretty bad all season, and what are you gonna do? You just have to hold. You don't want to sell him at his lowest point. Valanciunas came back super quickly. Just built different. 3 threes, 25 points, 9 rebounds, great efficiency. Who knows when Zion is coming back? Top 30 player. Josh Hart, and very, very solid field goals and rebounds, and now he's taken 7 threes. So I guess he added his 3-pointer as well. How many threes is he making on the season? I'm interested. He took 7 threes here. 33rd ranked player, 1.1. Okay. But he took 7 here. Not judging him. Josh Hart, minutes is super high still without the guys back, so that makes him a must roster. 4 assists every single game, getting the assist. With him is the efficiencies, the free throw efficiency is 1 for 4. 9 rebounds and a block, good stuff from Josh Hart, and he's a must roster guy. Rebound, assist, and this season he hasn't been making that many threes. He's only making 1 3 a game, so I think that should also go up as well. Devontae Graham, just very, very average numbers, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 13 points and a steal. If you want to move on from him, sure. At this point, you're just holding him for some upside for a breakout, but he hasn't been doing that. And with all the guys out of the lineup, he hasn't done that either. So it used to be that when guys are out on the Pelicans team, he would go for 30 points when guys are out. That's not the case this year. I don't know what happened with him. Maybe he lost some confidence. Sometimes you just need one good game for him to get going. The next game is the Denver Nuggets. Ugly loss to the Mavericks. They only scored 89 points. They just can't. They don't have professional scorers on this team. Other than Jokic, I mean, Will Barton is, yes, he can get you buckets, but the other starters, Aaron Gordon, Austin Rivers, Campazzo, I mean, they're not consistent NBA scorers or starters even. Monty Morris is still out. Facu Campazzo, we need to pick him up. The minutes is super high. We know Monty Morris is out. But once Monty Morris does come back, he should have that 25 to 28 minute role. Very, very solid player. Provide in category leagues, provide solid assists and steals and blocks even for little guard. Not the best game here, but he needs to be rostered. Jokic, a great game from Jokic, but couldn't help the team to win. Will Barton wild, 7 turnovers. He's like many, those guards with bad efficiencies. All 3 categories are pretty bad. He's not a great free throw shooter. I don't think. Let me verify it. Let me fact check myself. Will Barton, 91st ranked player. Yeah, shooting 77%. I know over his career he's never been a great free throw shooter, but he's only going to the line 1.4 times, so that's not a big deal. And he had 7 turnovers. I guess before this game he's only averaging 1 point something turnovers. So his turnover has been good. 7 turnovers is not ideal. Still a must roster guy. Aaron Gordon is also a must roster guy, but went 0 for 4 from the free throw line. My God. 7 rebounds, 15 points. Denver should bounce back from this. All the bench guys, really nobody you could pick them up. They just don't have enough upside. For the Dallas Mavericks, great. Dorian Finney-Smith in foul trouble, had a steal and a block in 80 minutes. He's been pretty solid. Let's just keep having him until he doesn't produce or he doesn't get minutes. I don't think so. He's going to keep getting minutes. With Porzingis out, Maxi Kleber, it could be a good stream. But it depends on, a lot of his value coming from blocks. He did it here. Jalen Brunson, 34 minutes, had 13 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals. With Luka back, there's going to be a huge level of fall-off. If you didn't sell high on him, the sell-high window is closed. Luka, 4 steals. You don't see that very often from Luka. He's not a big defensive guy. And again, bad efficiencies everywhere. Again, counting stats are pretty good. So you have to think about pairing up Luka and Russell Westbrook. With these two guys, you're going to have great rebounding as well, right? If you get like a Rudy Gobert, you are pretty good with rebounding with those 3 guys on your team. Obviously, if you're playing some super big man team, you're not gonna win rebound. But yeah, you have to try to think about pairing him up with Luka. In category leagues, pair Luka with Russell Westbrook. And the rest of the guys, Tim Hardaway Jr. could be a points and 3 streamer, but now the minutes is not consistent for him. Jason Kidd has not been giving him close to 30 minutes a night. All right, let's talk about the next game, the Miami Heat. We got 3 more games. The Miami Heat lost to the Warriors. Jimmy Butler played just 28 minutes. I think, Jimmy Butler got hurt again. What's wrong with this guy? He did play 23 games this season so far, but he's been in and out of the lineup. He had an ankle injury a couple weeks ago. He came, I think last week maybe, and he came back right away. But again, sprained his ankle. Maybe you're tired of him. If you can get a Harden, you absolutely do it. In category leagues, if you can get a Cat, they provide different things, but something to think about. You have to look at him like, he's good whenever he plays, but he just gets hurt way too often. And you know how guys are, like during a season, if they get hurt, one part of their body, they could just get hurt. It's a lot easier for them to get hurt again, especially ankle injuries. You guys know if you sprain your ankle once, it's like if you're not fully healed, but they're professional athletes. They, I guess they did the proper training, and if they do the proper training, do the proper warm ups, those type of things would, shouldn't happen that often. But I don't know. Whenever he plays, before he left, he was having a decent game, 22 points with great efficiencies. But again, he got hurt again. Caleb Martin, 36 minutes, great. With Jimmy Butler out, he's gonna miss a few games. I'm pretty sure. You could pick him up. He's gonna have some huge games. And Omer, 33 minutes, 17 rebounds again. This guy is a must roster. So good. But the only problem with him is, in 2-3 weeks, he's gonna have 0 value. Because Bam is going to come back. And they're not going to use him as a power forward. They're not going to use Bam as a power forward either. That means they won't be playing together. That means at most he can play is 18 minutes when Bam plays 30. Tyler Hero, with everybody out, played 41 minutes. Bad efficiency, at this point. The really holding him is the points, because if he gets dropped, if you drop him, he'll get scooped up immediately. So I would never drop him. I would try to do a trade to see if anybody bites. But just points is not gonna cut it in fantasy, because we play 9 categories. Kyle Lowry, with Jimmy Butler out, he should have a higher usage in the short term. Did not shoot the ball best and had 8 turnovers. To be fair, it was against the Warriors, a pretty good defensive team, so they all should bounce back. Just got to play some inferior competition. For the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, great. Keep it going, 22 points. Made his free throws, 2 steals, 6 rebounds. He's been balling all season. Very consistent. Draymond Green, what a game. 8 rebounds, 13 assists, a steal, and 4 blocks. Those are the things that Draymond Green brings. And if you're pounding points and threes, he's a top 10 player. Top 10. Kevon Looney did not have the best game. Let's not worry about him. And Gary Payton Jr., he's back. 4 steals and Gary Payton the second. He's back. 4 steals and a block. You could continue streaming him. The news came out that Clay's going to be back on Sunday. So when Clay does come back, we could just drop Gary Payton. Same thing with Jordan Poole. I worry about his value. He had 32 points in 26 minutes. A good time to sell him. Trying to do a 2-for-1 to get a top 50 player. If not, I wouldn't drop him, right? Because even when Clay comes back, he could have that 30-minute role coming off the bench. I think when Clay comes back, Gary Payton's gonna have lose all the minutes pretty much, come off the bench. And maybe Otto Porter Jr. loses some minutes. Damian Lee. Jordan Poole still third best offensive player on this team. I mean, he might be better than Clay. Offensively, total package-wise, because Clay, he's just going to catch and shoot. Jordan Poole can dribble. He can drive. He can do those pull-ups. He's a mini Steph Curry. I mean, he's not good at Steph Curry, obviously. Although he did outplay Curry this game. But he can do it all, unlike Clay. So they could use him in a lot of ways. So I would still hold him. For sure. Steph Curry struggled. A buy low, if you can use anybody that's not it's not Jokic, I would buy low. I'll do 1-for-1 to get Curry back. He's just been going through some rough shooting nights. 3 for 17. Worst game of the season so far for sure. Now let's look at the next game. The Atlanta Hawks lost to the Blazers. That's never good. And the Blazers didn't even have Damian Lillard. Well, they got Kevin Huerter back. If he's out on the waiver wire, I would pick him up. 18 points and 2 threes with 36 minutes. Clint Capella did not miss a shot. Great game. But no defensive stats. Skylar Mays, the guy just get 22 minutes. I would look to stream Delon Wright and Danilo Gallinari in the short term. Both guys are good fantasy players. Gallo is going to give you solid free throws. He didn't do it here. Delon Wright, he's going to give you rebound, assists, and steals. And he got 32 minutes. So I'll be streaming those two guys. I probably like Delon Wright the best if he can sustain the 30 minutes. And then Gallo and Kevin Huerter. If both guys up, all those guys play 30 minutes. And for the Portland Trail Blazers, Freddie Simons went off 38 minutes. Had 43 points, but you could roster him with Damian Lillard out. But when Dame comes back, he's not going to have any value. I think we all know that at this point. But who knows when Dame is coming back? He could be out for a while. Who knows? We don't know. Norman Powell, 4 steals, 26 points. Every single year, man. Damn it. I said Norman Powell was a sell high since last year. And he just kept doing it this season again. On a different team. He just finds ways to get his teammates hurt and play 35 plus minutes and put up top 50 numbers. Good stuff. And I think the rest of the way he should be good. I mean, CJ McCollum is nowhere near the return either. Yusuf Nurkic played just 26 minutes, was in some foul trouble. Great game. Decent game. I would say 21-12. Larry Nance Jr. and Nessa Little both. Well, Larry Nance Jr. is still a must roster. I would still hold him. He played 35 minutes despite having 5 fouls. Yeah, I would hold him. Robert Covington only 23 minutes, 24. Had 4 steals. I would also hold Robert Covington. And look to sell Robert Covington if he has a huge game. He can, maybe just the first game back he plays just 24 minutes. But they play him and Larry Nance Jr. together. So maybe Larry Nance Jr. could have a 30-minute role on this team moving forward. Not the best game here for him, but you just have to hold him. Because when he does have a good game, he can bring so many categories. Those type of players like Derek White. Why we love these type of players is that in category leagues, they can do it all. They can do absolutely everything. A lot of guys, they may score a bunch, but they don't really get defensive stats. Some guys, they may get defensive stats, but they don't really score or they don't really grab rebound like Matisse Thybulle. Larry Nance Jr. can get the assist as well. So, yeah, have to hold him. And the minutes is there, so you gotta hold. And last game of the night, the Timberwolves beat the LA Clippers. Clippers got beat the Nets at Nets. Now they lose to the Timberwolves at home. The Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards great. He's been struggling a little bit, but this game over here, great game. Jared Vanderbilt, just the 28 minutes. The game was out of control a little bit in the fourth quarter. So, the starters other than Anthony Edwards, nobody really played huge minutes. They went with the bench in the fourth quarter. So no worries. Pretty solid rebound. The guy that can get a bunch of defensive stats. Naz Reid, Cat is going to be back soon. You got to think about moving on from him. Same thing with Malik Beasley. Move on from him once D'Lo is very, very close to a return. Patrick Beverley, probably a sell high. In 21 minutes, he got 12 assists again. With D'Lo around, he's not going to get this many level of his. He's just going to average like 4 or 5. At most 5, I think. And some defensive stats. Jaden McDaniels, Jalen Noel, they have had a good week. But, the big boss on this team are returning, so look to sell them. For the LA Clippers, also due to the blowout, everybody played pretty low minutes. Eric Bledsoe was just bad, 6 turnovers. But with Lukanar out in the short term, we still got to hold him. Marcus Morris Sr., nobody really had a good game. But Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris Sr., if they're out there on the waiver wire, we should think about pick them up. Same thing with Eric Bledsoe. And Xavier Moon, who didn't even have a picture, came in, played 26 minutes, had 13 points, 4 steals and a block, went off. He's not going to do it again, so let's not worry about him. And that's it for all the games. I'll see you guys later.